Hello and welcome back to the podcast of All This Jawn, recording live from the city of brotherly love in a West Philly neighborhood. I'm your host, Mikey. Join us every week where we talk about the latest Jawns of the week. For you Philadelphians out there, you know what I'm talking about. All This Jawn is a podcast all about society and pop culture. Every week, me and my guests take it to the limits, so don't expect anything else. Straight from the mouth of yours truly, all in the life of a gay Philadelphian. It has been a hot minute since I dropped an episode, that's for sure. But life has been busy and summer has been, I guess you can say, somewhat entertaining. But summer is almost over and fall is slowly approaching. With that being said, we are back. And if you listened last time, we talked about the summer of 1984. The summer I was born, of course, also known as Cancer season. We also dug into attributes of a Cancer. We touched base with a group of my friends on their personal zodiac signs, the summer of 2020 so far, and of course, my birthday trip in Rehoboth as I turned the big 3-6. On this week's episode of All This Jawn, we sit back, dig a little deep, or should I say extremely deep, and talk love, marriage, and separation. To love at first sight, to a 12-year relationship then and now, and of course, marriage. We also sit back and talk about growing up with separated parents. Whether you grew up living with your mother or you grew up living with your father, everyone has a story and how that may affect them as a child or now as an adult, and all the emotions and feelings that you may go through. This week, I bring on a very special guest to discuss this week's two-part episode topic, and that is not only my best friend, my equal, my one and only, my partner in life, the yin to my yang, my husband, Kennan. So let's get started and welcome Kennan to the show. Hey, Kennan.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going. Living a life about COVID and living with you.
So, obviously, me and Kennan live together. We've been together 12 years, and we have a little pooch, Kyler. And this summer has been pretty somewhat entertaining, I guess you can say. Living the new normal with COVID. You know, obviously we live together, so I know your feelings all the time. But when you're by yourself, how do you mend the mind?
Lots and lots of podcasts.
I hope you're listening to this one regularly.
I am. I have to. It's part of my duties.
What's going on? Like, how do you feel about COVID? I know we had a discussion today at brunch about mask wearing, but we're not going to dig too deep in that because the Jawn of the Week is coming up.
Okay. I think that it is interesting to say that we all got what we wanted out of life. I know I said multiple times I wanted some time to relax and regroup and kind of recharge from all the hustle and bustle of life. And what happened? COVID sent us back inside and we couldn't do anything. I do miss going to Home Goods with a good pumpkin spice and just browsing. But, you know, we'll get there one day as long as pumpkin spice comes out.
I can't. So, you know, in recent events, and I guess we can tell the Home Goods story is, me and Kennan have been in search of a circle rug, kids. And I don't know what's going on. Maybe 2020 set us back a couple years, but there are no circle faux fur rugs anywhere. There's not ones at Home Goods. There's not ones at Home. There's not ones at Marshall's. You can't find them. They're all square. So the reason for this is Kyler, our dog, has been somewhat sick lately, and he's just not been holding his bladder together, so he kind of ruined our favorite dining room rug. So that's what we've been on a search for, a circle faux fur rug.
Yeah, so if anybody on the show or listening to the show knows about one, I would love a link or two.
Get at us. So that's been life and recent events. So obviously we're here to talk about love, marriage, and separation. No, me and Kennan are not separated. You'll join us on part 2 of All This Jawn, episode 6, where we talk separation. But we're going to talk about love and marriage, being in a 12-year relationship, love at first kind of sight kind of thing, different cities we lived in, and from when we first met till today. So why don't we jump into our main topic, which is love and marriage. So I know this is where we both have our own different stories to that night. But for everybody listening who doesn't know me and Kennan personally, and who does, I'm sure you've heard it multiple times. But we met in D.C. at this town nightclub, which is no longer there, which is totally sad. But we met at town nightclub. So I'm going to let Kennan tell his side of the story first on how we came about 12 years ago.
Well, it was a fateful night of needing some away time from the DC nightlife, because back in the day, Kennan was out every day of the week. Long story short is I was with my best friend at the time. We had too many margaritas at dinner. We still wanted to go out. So we hustled down to DC before they closed the front door. And we went to town. We had terrible time finding parking, but we finally found it. And it was probably closer to midnight, which was late for us to show up. And we were waiting in the doorway, and me and my now husband locked eyes and did the cute gay stare gaze. And he went on his way inside, and I had to go through the ropes. And that turned into a night of a lot of gazes and stares, but no action. And at the end of the night, Michael's best friend, at the time, introduced me to him after he stared at me very weirdly. And yeah, we've been a joint at the hip ever since.
More like Kennan didn't leave, but...
That would be your side. My side is that we just had so many great times together that we didn't want to stop seeing each other.
So that's how your story was that night.
That's how my, expedited story was that night.
Your little short version.
Yeah.
So, to switch it over to me, my story, I always like to draw mine out a little bit. I recently got out of a very toxic relationship. I was dating this guy at the time, and it just wasn't very great. So Michael went on this 2-week, I'm not going to the club hiatus, and my friend at the time was like, you're coming out tonight. And I was like, nope, I just got done work late. If all you people in DC are listening, you're familiar with Georgetown to Tacoma Park. So it was very blue and orange line to the red straight up to Tacoma Park. So I got done work really late, and I basically was like, nope, not going out. My friend at the time called me, and he was like, you gotta come out. So I wind up going out. We knew people at town who used to let us in for free and not pay and not wait in line, and we usually used to get there really early to be let in, and this night was kind of a late night. So of course when I got there, our friend wasn't there at the door, so we had to wait in line. So here walks in Kennan, and my eyes locked, and
The gay stare.
the gay gaze and all of that jazz, and me being out of a fresh new relationship, I was like, you know what, it's time to hop back in the saddle. I was either gonna have fun that night or so be it. So pretty much what Kennan said was, it was very lock eyes all night, here and there, across the dance floor, at the bar, through our friends' eyes, and that's how we pretty much met, and then we've been together ever since. Would there be anything that you would change about that night?
I kind of wish we went to the hotel party to see if it would have made it past that first night.
Oh, we're really going to dig into this first hotel party. Well, Michael wasn't going to the hotel party that night. I believe I had work at 11 a.m. the next day that Kennan decided to take me to and drop me off.
Yep, we had Johnny Rockets.
Yes, we did. We had Johnny Rockets for lunch. I think I would change the fact that I felt like you were going to stand me up that night, waiting until 6 o'clock in the morning for a ride home.
That was because I needed to go across the bridge to Roslyn from DC, and my phone died, which was a I don't even remember. It was red and black, and it was so small. It was like a BlackBerry or something.
Oh, God.
And it died, and I was like trying to charge it, and it took forever to charge back on. But
Or were you just slow coming across the bridge?
everyone who knows me will probably say I was slow coming across the bridge, but it took a while to leave DC and then come back.
5 o'clock in the morning, kids. Virginia drivers. That's all I gotta say. Do you remember our first date?
If I remember correctly, it was at L'Oreal Plaza, and it was
Mural Plaza
on the top floor facing 18th Street. And yeah, it was like a 3-hour like dinner talking about everything under the sun.
We really did. I think we talked about some of our like non-negotiables and what we wanted out of life and all those things.
Love L'Oreal Plaza.
Yes.
Wish I could be there right now.
Swirls and carne asada.
No, shrimp or salmon with baby shrimp.
Yes, they were the go-tos.
Mm-hmm.
I think after that we kind of talked about like apartment living and where we were living. You living far as fuck outside the city of DC and Aldi, Virginia, and me living in Tacoma Park with horrible roommates. I think it was like we came to an agreement like, should we move in together?
Yeah, because we were just in the phase of wanting something new.
Did you have any moments where you're like, shit, am I really about to move in with this person?
Yes, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But I think my youth and my like optimism told me, oh, it's all gonna work out. You're gonna be close to the city, and if anything, it doesn't work out, you'll at least be close to your friends.
True. Well, it's so funny because you mentioned being, youthful, I guess you can say. When Kennan first told me his age, he's like, oh, I'm 20. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I was, roughly 23. And he's like, no. Like, I'll be 21 in 2 weeks. And then we went to your birthday.
My 21st birthday was at P.F. Chang's. And Tyson's 1. No, Tyson's 2. I can never remember.
I think
now.
it's Tyson's 2.
Tyson's 2. And Ruben Studdard sang me happy birthday.
He did. I don't know where his career went, but it wasn't anything special.
Well, he was there and he sang me happy birthday on my 21st
Maybe that
birthday.
was his last performance.
It could have been. At least I got to see him out.
Anyway, push come to shove, me and Kennan wind up moving in together 2 months later? A month
Not
later?
even.
I don't even
It was
think
like
so.
it was October, the first Saturday of October, or last Saturday of October that year. So it was right after my birthday. It was like the day after we moved in together.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because we went to Cobalt for Halloween.
We did.
That same day that we moved in, because we had nothing to really move in besides a bed.
We really did. And we had I think I had that IKEA bookshelf. Or did we buy that together?
No, we bought that together.
To separate.
All we had was a bed, a boob tube, a set of dishes, and one pot. It was so sad.
And the leather couch.
No, we didn't get the leather couch till months later when we got the shelf.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. At the good old Wellington up on Columbia Pike.
Ugh, Scott Street.
Yes. We used to take the 16 ABCDFG down to Pentagon City to get on the blue line.
Yeah.
To
Shout out to Daniel.
Yes, Daniel. I love Daniel.
I do too.
He's
a good Judy.
Yes. Did you love living at the Wellington?
I did. I loved it. It was a great little community.
It was.
And a great location. It was close to work. So we both worked at Pentagon City Mall, and we could go right over the bridge really quick. And they had really large apartments.
You know what I hated about that apartment community? I'm sure you already know.
Barbara.
I hated her. I could not stand that bitch.
She's still there, probably.
She probably is. In her back office in 1301, just being a bitch. I hated her.
But it's hindsight, full circle moment. We both work in property management now and do exactly what she does.
And you know what? I understand somewhat of why she was a bitch. We always pay our rent on time. I just feel like there was always paperwork issues or something. It was just ridiculous. I literally, I couldn't couldn't stand Barbara. But I love the pool. The gym was nice. All the leasing agents were nice. Again, shout out to Daniel.
Daniel, first leasing job there or something.
And
it's crazy.
speaking of full circle, it's so funny how like we both came into property management and we wind up working at the same company that Daniel was brought onto as well.
Right?
Crazy. Small.
It was like meant to be. He was meant to be in our lives.
For real, small world. Who would have thought? How many years later? At least 7.
No, longer than that.
8, 9? Oh yeah, because we've been in Philly for
Yeah.
3, like 9 years. That's crazy. So jumping around a little bit, obviously living together, we have come into so many cities together.
So many cities.
So obviously we met in DC. We were there for 3 years. I'm always bad at this.
I want to say that was 2 years. No, 3 years.
3
It was 2
years.
Maybe 4 years almost.
I'm gonna say 2 because if you think about it, we transferred
early.
From the studio to 1301 down the street at the Wellington to this 2-bedroom with the roommate fiascos. Plural. And then we moved to the Windy City of Chicago.
Love Chicago. I think that's my favorite city.
I think it's because you grew up there.
Hands down favorite city, I think.
Why was Chicago your favorite?
The culture, the people, the subway. It's literally so economical to live there. And any other city we've kind of lived in was kind of like not economical. Like the cost of living was very high. Where our first apartment was like $800 and we were in the heart of Boys Town.
We really were. It was exciting because it was an adventure. It was exciting because I'm like, wow, we're about to like give up our life in DC with all our friends and travel to Middle America, to the Windy City, the only big city that they have in Middle America that's worth entertaining, I guess, except for Denver. And we go there with, like, our dog, our U-Haul van, an apartment we'd never seen, and you had a job, and I didn't at the time.
Correct.
Because
I transferred my little part-time job with Ann Taylor to go and work in North and Clybourne.
Yes, Guess Inc. did not feature me when we moved to Chicago, but it's okay. And then we got to Chicago, and it was fall time, and you're like, it's gonna be really cold, so get ready for it. And it was really cold.
It's extremely cold.
Chicago was a good time. I definitely feel like it's definitely a foodie city.
So foodie.
Not as great as Philly, but
I would debate that.
That's questionable.
I think Philly's got all like the hoagies and Italian whatever down.
That's all you're gonna give us.
That's all I'm gonna give you. But you have to think about ping pong just alone.
All right,
that
I'll give
level
it to you.
Of like food and bongo room and even the little hole in the wall like omelet place.
All right, I'll definitely give it to you. I'll say this. There was no big food chains there. It was very mom and pop, which is definitely very enjoyable, and the food culture is really great.
Correct. And it's so like sports driven, it's college, universities driven.
You are getting a little too far with this because
it's competing with Philadelphia, clearly.
Okay.
But more economical to live.
It is very more economical to live. And the subway is the
amazing
second largest.
The CTA, yeah.
Yes.
The MTA, CTA, and then Metro.
I think it's New York, Chicago, then DC.
That's right. DC
yes.
Metro. Yeah.
But anyway, Chicago was a blast while it lasted. The last year was kind of rough, but we won't top that. And then we went back to DC, and then moved to the greatest city of them all, Philadelphia.
I want to say we had a couple of stints in Philadelphia. I will give it to Philly. They have stepped it up since the last time we lived here, and I think that we can call this place home.
So, since we are on a Philly podcast, what are some favorite Philly things that you really enjoy living in the city of brotherly love?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to say the Italian market because I love that culture feel of being able to buy produce off the street,
okay,
which is interesting. I am going to say I've learned to love the, like, toughness of the people. They don't take no BS here.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
You don't fuck around.
No. I feel like anytime someone gets upset, they could cut you. And that's kind of interesting.
And they probably will. And it would be a really good story to pull out your phone and get it on tape.
Yeah, or 2 seconds later, they could be singing, like, Boyz II Men in, like, a steak and cheese place. Or
did you just call
a
it a
cheesesteak place.
That's so sorry. DC of you. DC people, Phillies out there, call a cheesesteak a steak and cheese. I just want.
I mean, it's the same thing, right?
I just
steak and cheese and cheesesteak.
I just want to throw it in there. Real
Okay,
quick.
it's got cheese and steak in both.
Yeah, but it's called cheesesteak.
Okay, maybe it's the roll. That's what I've heard. It's the roll that makes the difference.
Good old Sarcone bread.
Yeah.
They don't have that these days.
No.
They have shrimp.
They try. They try though.
Yeah. They try. They try. What are some other Philly faves of yours, babe? Oh my god, there's like so many. I don't believe you have any.
I do love their BYOs. All the BYO restaurants I've been to in Philadelphia have been amazing. Shout out to Jackson's. Shout out to Mercado. I can keep naming. They're all amazing.
There's countless
of them. And brunch here isn't as good as Bottomless in DC, but if they had Bottomless, they would be so much better.
It's a vibe, though. We have a vibe.
Yeah.
Like
no vibe, but it's not Bottomless.
So, restaurants, the Italian market.
And the people.
The people. Got it. For me, it's definitely the people. It's definitely the vibe. It's definitely the culture. Definitely the restaurants.
Oh, I have another one. The murals.
The murals. We do kick ass on murals.
There's so many in Philly.
I feel like there's countless more that since we've been back. Like,
correct.
Every day I turn around, I'm like, when did that mural get there? What's your favorite mural?
I want to say it's Amy Shepherd's on the side of the Target on, I think it's Locust.
12th and Sansom.
Yeah, that's amazing.
One of my favorites is on Spring Garden. There's two of them, actually. There's the one that you Philadelphians out there will know. The Old Transit nightclub. It's on the side of that. And then there's one, literally a block, if you're going west, back towards the city. I believe it's on 9th? No. Transit's on 9th, around that area. So it's on 12th, the other one. It's like colorful and abstract. We do got some good murals.
You do like abstract things.
Yes. Living in Philly, we've lived in 3 separate neighborhoods. What is your favorite?
Oh, hands down, Antique Row.
Antique Row.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a vibe.
It had a very, city dwelling vibe.
Yes. Very, right outside our door was, city streets. It's a vibe.
Old brick and, just craziness. But Foodery was right there.
We did love a good Foodery.
PPA was always out.
Giving tickets, of course.
And the apartment was cute. It had a little backyard that you'd never expect.
I mean, you don't really get yards in Philly, but it was a very cute yard.
It was a concrete yard.
that I literally adapted into a 2-yard after sharing it with the dirty neighbors.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think for me, I definitely like Pine Street, but I also liked Brewerytown. I think the reason for it is because I grew up in Fairmount, which is below Poplar. Below Girard, I guess you can say. And then Girard's the cutoff. To see me growing up in a neighborhood like Fairmount that was you don't go past Girard, to now Girard Avenue, what it has become, Brewerytown's definitely a fan fave. But I definitely love the University City, West Philly neighborhood that we live in now because there's so much. It's quiet like a neighborhood where you have the typical family, but then you have the hipsters of Baltimore Avenue and all the college kids and pretty good neighborhood to be lived in.
Yeah, I love our neighborhood now. It's got so much charm and wit and interesting. You always see something different.
Uh-huh.
I did catch myself the other day. I was like, oh my god! I remember when we first came and saw this apartment. And I was like, ooh, I'm not gonna love this. And if anyone who actually knows me knows that I'm kind of particular about everything. So I was just like, ooh, I gotta make this work, and I gotta make it work. But it really has become home, and
I feel like this is our longest apartment
that we've lived in one space. That's why I said Philadelphia could become home. We're really building roots here.
It's definitely becoming home.
Yeah.
Little does anyone know, me and Kennan have started looking for houses because I feel like our whole renting phase is over and we want to make something ours.
I want to like paint a wall and like it stay.
Right, or have a yard or something.
Or have like barbecues at my house every year.
Right, and entertain like we like to do.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been coming together, the neighborhoods and cities that we have lived in. So, what are some favorite things that we've done together? So, like trips or birthday moments?
Ooh, that's a good one. I want to say I think it was your 26th birthday, 27th birthday. We were in Chicago, and everyone crammed into our, like,
Loft style apartment.
Loft style, bi-level, whatever you want to call it. And we only had, like, blow-up mattresses and a sofa. And this apartment was, like, turn, you've seen it all. But, like, we all crammed in it, and we, like, had such an amazing time. I think that was one for the record books, like...
That was actually my 28th birthday.
Ooh, I gave you more time.
You did give me more time. It was definitely a fun birthday. It was definitely one for the books or whatever. For me, I would say, what is that one birthday when we were in the studio where everyone came over that summer?
That was the first year we were there.
First year we were there. Yeah, I would definitely say, was it? It totally was.
It was.
That was like my 24th?
Birthday,
I don't remember. It was one. That was a good birthday for me. I'll also say the birthday in Chicago was a good one. My 30th birthday was amazing. I always said that I wanted to go to Vegas, stay at the Palms for my 30th birthday, and go see a show. And we literally made it happen. I remember being so excited to be there and to experience Vegas because, I grew up in Philly and we would go to, at the age of 21, we would go to Atlantic City and go gambling. And from the ages of 21 to 30, I did not gamble. And 30th birthday was literally my first time gambling, and it was so exciting to physically be there and play all of these amazing games that, I never got to do at the age of 21. And we stayed at the Palms.
Yeah, which was not what it is now. It's totally been upgraded.
It has totally been upgraded. We did get upgraded that day.
We did. It was really late, and we were on, like, the last flight out of Philadelphia to Vegas, and then we were on the first flight. I know we were on the last flight again into Philadelphia, and it was a whirlwind. We saw Nene Leakes, and Zumanity, we gambled, we got In-N-Out Burger, which was a first for me because I've never been to LA.
Yes.
And it was one for the record books too.
Yes.
You have really good birthdays.
Everyone knows that literally birthday time is like the best holiday. Like, fuck Christmas, fuck New Year's. Like, it's all about my birthday. It's the day I was born. It's a moment to shine and be happy about it.
But you get good Christmases too with your grandmother's meatballs.
I really do get good gifts, but my birthdays are like meant to be celebrated.
Okay.
And I would say this year you literally put on the A game for my birthday this year. Mm-hmm. It was definitely a surprise. All my friends came together. Shout out to everyone who was there. I gave a shout out on our last episode for everyone, so it was definitely in the books.
They definitely showed up. They followed directions well.
Yes, I love people who follow directions well. What are some favorite birthdays of yours?
Ooh, that's a tough one. So my 30th birthday was great, which is only a few years ago. I'm still so young.
I definitely surprised the hell out of you.
You did. I did not expect it. We ate at, I don't remember the name of the restaurant. Talk, which was amazing, which of course has been closed down for 2 years now.
Rest in peace,
Yes,
Talk.
but it was amazing. Shout out to Fredo and Lewis for deciding to spend too much money on dinner that night.
It was very pricey.
Yeah, but it was amazing. Anything that deals with food, I love. So that birthday was amazing. Ooh, what other birthdays? Remember? Oh, Miami. We went to Miami. Remember we went to Fort Lauderdale. We did Halloween in
It was definitely
Fort
a good
Lauderdale.
time.
That was a good time.
If you are in Miami or Fort Lauderdale area for Halloween, definitely go to Fort Lauderdale. The whole block shuts down. It's a bunch of gays running around in these skimpy little outfits. It was fun.
Yeah, that was a good birthday too. Ooh, I don't really like a lot of things on my birthday.
I had fun on your 21st birthday.
Oh, my 21st birthday, Ruben Sutter,
obviously.
Yeah. Duh. And yeah, I don't really have, those are my tops.
What about trips? Obviously, we love Miami. It's like our home away from home.
Love Miami. I think the first time it was amazing. The second time, this last time takes the cake though, because the house was so much better than any other accommodations we had. We've gone to...
I mean, Vegas was fun.
Vegas was fun for your birthday. Where else have we gone? Oh, I loved Costa Rica when I went to Costa Rica. The black sands are amazing.
We went to Costa Rica.
Which was... went off the bucket list.
We've definitely had some fun trips, which was really good.
Definitely.
It was definitely exciting. But I feel like all the years that we've been together, we've come into different friendships.
Completely.
In different circles. What does friends mean to you?
They mean an extension of myself. It's, that old additive that who you hang out with is a reflection of you. So I try to hang out with some cool people.
I definitely agree. I feel like we've been through so many different people have come, so many people have gone, some people stick, some people are just there temporarily, some people come in and out when they want.
Yeah.
But I believe I said this on a podcast a couple weeks ago when we talked about friendships and relationships, is that I really enjoy the circle that we've created now. I feel like there's a strong bond between somewhat people of the past and some people now. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that we've become almost like a connective tissue of all these different subgroups that they can all get in a room and they can kind of vibe together, which is, a testament to how great our friends are.
I mean, there's definitely times where, vibes go a little wackadoo and, but that's just what make up people. And I think, I've talked to Derek about this and, people are people when they want to be. We made this joke of, sometimes we all want to wear the pants in the circle when we want to lead on certain things, but sometimes you just can't wear the pants. Someone else has to wear the pants. And for me, I'm a big wear the pants kind of person, where I'm like, no, it has to be this way. And with this group of friends, I've realized that I don't know, it's because I'm getting older, but I don't always want to wear the pants now. So I'm like, I'm going to let this person direct the ship kind of thing.
But I think we do that we have so many different friend groups and occasions that we go and we all hang out. That if it's your thing, then you lead the ship on it. And we let you be the cruise director. Shout out to Michael. Best cruise director around.
Yeah, he's a good cruise director.
Yeah.
It must be his HR base. Love you, Michael. But yeah, I feel like our friends kind of bond with our other friends that we bring in.
Yeah.
But even with family members who've met our friends, it's such a great dynamic between the both of them.
Yeah, that is true.
Is there any people of the past, without naming names, that you somewhat think about sometimes?
Yes. Probably pre-meeting you, I had a very good close group of friends that were kind of more wild. And I'm like, oh God, are they still wild or they've calmed down?
Yeah, I've had the same kind of group. It was so funny. I feel like what was so different about, well, not really different about us, is before we met, we each had our own tight-knit group of friends. And for me, back then, I was pretty much the person who liked to lead things or make plans and, travel here and go to different places. And, friends have their ups and downs and friends separate and friends come back together, but I feel like in your younger years, that's pretty much what you go through to build those relationships that we have now. But I think about past relationships and past friends, and, I'm usually the one that wears the heart on the sleeve in friendships, and I'm always like, no, we're not going to fight anymore, and then we wind up fighting, and then we're making back up, and, times have changed.
It's just like family. You make up with family, and you move on, In the gay culture, at least, we always say that, we have a chosen family, we have our family. We're kind of building those chosen family pieces. We do. So you're going to fight with them sometimes, and you're going to be like brothers and sisters and kiss and make up, or you're just not going to talk for 5 years.
Right. I feel like there's friends
until some crazy holiday.
Right. I feel like there's friendships out there that I'm like, I don't want to talk to that person anymore, but they're there. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you are all wondering who you are. Yeah. But I love you. What are being in a relationship for 12 years, people have their highs and lows, and their non-negotiables and compromising together. What are some, us being together, what are some 12-year rules or things that you've come into contact with that you're like, I can do that, I can't do that?
I think as we've aged in life and aged in our relationship, we have almost melded into, we used to use the word, we're compromising, but I don't think it's even about compromising more. I think it's about an understanding of what works best for our knit or our team. We're, team Brown McKenna. So, we're not going to do anything that's not going to be best for Brown McKenna. There's no compromising to make that work. It's just non-negotiables that do not work for our team.
Do you feel like it's a look like, I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to do that?
Correct. And your boundaries just like I know my boundaries.
Me too. Sometimes I hit a little below the belt, I'm not going to lie.
Everyone does that.
Is there any non-negotiables for you? In a relationship, not just with me, but in any relationship, there are certain things that make Kennan Brown.
I am very cutthroat. That's one thing that I've been trying to work on, but it's just part of me that you cross me once, okay, cross me again, I'm done.
Well, I feel like that's where the same on certain things. I think I'm a little more vocal than you are, where it's just no, fuck that. Where you're I don't know how I feel about that.
Correct.
Would you agree?
I completely agree. It's sometimes just to look that was your first. It happens again, we're done.
Was there any things during our relationship where you were I don't know where this is
going? I want to say it was our first summer, and we both were younger, and you were going out a ton, I was trying to not go out a ton, and it just felt like I can't keep doing this. I'm run down, and you still wanted to go out, so I was I don't know if this is gonna work.
We did used to go out a lot when we in our heydays, literally at least Thursday to Monday.
Yeah.
Lots of nights of drinking and having fun with different crowds and coming home at 4:00 in the morning and going to work at 9.
Correct. Many of Saturdays I ended up just basically showering and going to work for a full 8-hour shift.
For real. I remember times coming home where it's I'm literally about to get 3 hours sleep and then get up and go to work.
Yeah, and probably still reek of alcohol.
Right. Probably. Smell and reek of alcohol. For me, I think it was Chicago. I think it was a tough second year for us. You were in school and we just hit rock bottom. And I feel that was our make or break year. And here we are.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
I don't disagree. I mean, I think it was a tough year, but I had so many other things going on that I would have, at that moment, I probably didn't see it as make or break. I just saw it as tough times.
I definitely would say that was our make or break year. For me, in any standpoint. We've been through so much together, highs and lows, and different thoughts and different hurdles, and here we are today.
Still going.
Still going strong. I think
Energizer Bunny over here.
I think when we moved back to DC and we moved into Arlington and we finally got out of retail was kind of like a second win for us, in regards to, you know, leaving retail, getting into property management, making more money, setting stronger goals for ourselves and where we wanted to be in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So that comes marriage. I think after being together for like 8 long years, everyone's like, you've been with him for 8 years. Like, when are you going to get married? And you just know. So I'll let you tell the story on how I proposed.
Well, I say Michael picked the perfect proposal because I always said that I wanted it to be just like our normal selves. Nothing over the top. I don't want to be on a hot air balloon. I don't want to be whisked to Paris. I want it to be our usual, right? Because that's what you're marrying. You're marrying that person for the usual days, not the exciting ones all the time. Because those come far and few between. So we had went to Safeway, our favorite Safeway on King Street, and we bought stuff for dinner, which we did 3 or 4 times a week. And we cooked. We ate. We had our usual, talk about work or life or whatever during dinner. And then Mike was like, oh, let's dance. And I'm like, we never do this. This is so awkward. Maybe he's like reading a book or something that makes this possible. And we danced, and Michael put on, I forget, our wedding song, which is Today, Tomorrow by Ty Austin. And then he got on one knee and proposed, and I was just like, what? I don't understand. And then he said yes, and I was like, oh my God, what? And I was so in shock of all the sensory things that were going on, and then I was in these short shorts, just lounging around the house.
We were definitely in short shorts and pajama shirts.
That's what I'm saying. I literally was just after a day of work. And yeah, Michael did it on Facebook Live, and I called my mom and I cried, and yeah.
It was so funny. I was so nervous that day in regards to how I was going to do it, and I was looking where I can put the phone and everything else. And the funniest thing about that was the day before, I was or possibly during that week, I told Britt at the time, I was like, I'm going to marry Kennan this weekend. I'm going to propose. This is it. And we went ring shopping, and I was everywhere at Tyson's, everywhere in the Galleria. I was doing research online, and I finally found the ring, and I think I came home that day, and I basically said, don't get mad, but I spent a lot of money, and I lent it out to one of our friends, and she desperately needed it, and we're going to get it back, don't worry. And I think you were, in shock. Oh my God, how can you take all this money out of our account? But at the end, it was a very good time. And I proposed on Facebook Live. And we wound up getting married 6 months later.
Yeah, so we were...
I proposed on Beyonce's birthday.
He did propose on Beyonce's birthday.
And I got married on Andrew's birthday.
And we got married on Andrew's birthday. 2 very powerful queens.
Yes. Yes.
But... yeah, that was a very short-lived. It was right after Donald Trump got in office. We decided that, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what will happen about, marriage equality, so let's just go ahead and do it. And we planned this in, a month, our wedding.
It was very small, intimate, with close friends and family on the Bartlett rooftop.
On the Bartlett rooftop, we had Salam cater our food, which she was an amazing and is amazing cook, and we had a playlist for some music, and we had people here from Philly, and my brother showed up, and it was a magical day.
I would say, I did not expect our officiant to be that fucking amazing. He was amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that I would cry on my wedding day. I'm usually more composed in front of people, but like he was so like hit us on the head, like who we are, how our relationship is, how we are together, how we are with our friends and family, and like there was not a dry eye.
No, there really wasn't. Like
Yeah.
you would think that we've known him for years. That's
Correct.
how like he didn't sound robotic. He didn't seem like he was pulling out of his ass. Like it was so great that he even like met with us the week before to go over everything and what we wanted and what we felt about it and what everything and how everything was going to take place.
It was amazing spirit
It was definitely
to
good
do
times.
our
It was definitely good times.
officiating of our wedding. Yeah, we had pizza at the end of the night from
Stone hot.
Stone Hot. Shout out to Stone Hot. If anyone's ever in Alexandria, Virginia, you have to try this pizza out. It's amazing.
Yes, look up Stone Hot. But we had really good food the day of the wedding too.
We did.
A lot of brunch. I think
A lot of brunch.
we literally put on a show that day.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We really did. And here we are in present day.
Present day, Philadelphia.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself, Kennan? Or where do you see us in like the next 5 years?
Actually, to be honest, I see us on the cover of Parents Magazine.
Okay. Was one of my non-negotiables to have kids. I don't
It
think you're-
is one of your non-negotiables. Now, I don't know if it's going to be what you envision for Parents.com, but I see us in that capacity.
Okay. Well, I definitely see a big house somewhere, somewhat of a house in the next couple years, if not next year. Obviously, that's goal next year. And then possibly kids. I'm getting up there. 40 is my scary age, so
Now you're going to be in a walker by the time you go to college.
just remember you're going to have to take care of me.
I'm getting hired for that.
So we are coming to the close of episode 6, Love, Marriage, and Separation, and we are going to continue with part 2 in just a short few moments. So definitely stay tuned. Thank you for listening to part 1 on love and marriage and myself and Kennan's story. Join us on part 2 where we talk about separation, growing up with single parents, and living with single mothers. Stay tuned.